What's happening? Welcome back. A heap of parts have now turned up for this bro build, so let's make a start on it. All right, so I'm pretty freaking excited for what's in this box. Are you ready for it? The Apex Air trucks. Check out these things. How good do these look? They put a heap of stickers in there, so I just slapped one on there. Cannot wait to try these. I was at work this morning when this parcel turned up, and I was just itching to get into it. They look mint. They're just some 5-degree risers. The Bro deck has slightly less angle, so I thought I'd grab a set and give them a go as well. A couple of anti-sink plates. Look pretty cool. And Lee threw in a whole bunch of bushings for me. So I don't know what's what yet. I'm gonna have to work it out, shoot him a message or have a look on Riptide and see what color's what. But yeah, super keen to give him a go, see what we can come up with. And a whole bunch of stickers. All right, so up next are the motors. Some of you might be a bit thrown by this, but we'll open them up. So again, these are the Matex sealed motors, and they'll be running on 18S, but this time I've asked them to wind these in 120 kV, and I've also gone for the 6355 size. All right, so this is the most common size, and this is a 6374. For this build, I've gone the 6355. So as you can see, a smaller motor. The reason I've done that is I want this board to be light. This board is gonna have a lot of torque. It'll be geared very low, not a huge top speed, but just fast enough. I just want it to be my main jump board. Skate park, mountain bike jumps, mountain bike parks, anything like that. And I think these smaller motors, still with some decent amps, should be more than enough. And I think the weight I'm gonna save running these is gonna be worth it, especially these trucks are meant to be a lot lighter than all the other trucks out there as well. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm also gonna be using some smaller batteries as well. Yeah, pretty excited. So once again, running the Stormcore 100D. I've had a few of these now, had a minor issue with the button, but yeah, no drama. And I'm using this one because I got a good deal off a mate who bought it and decided to change his mind in that. So I got it for a good price. And yeah, here's a connector already had made. So half of my connector is done. The next thing I'll be doing is chain and sprockets. So this is a 3D printed adapter that can fit Evolve wheels, and it can fit MBS wheels, and also another stud pattern as well. This is just a prototype. Liam from Radium is gonna CNC me one of these out of alloy. So I'm hanging out for them to get here, and I'm gonna run chain and sprockets. Really light, a lot lighter than gear drives, and probably very similar to belts and pulleys. And here are some mounts that we're running on the front of the 4-wheel drive mountain board. Since that board's 2-wheel drive now and it has been sold, I've got these mounts. Liam's gonna send me these chain and sprocket adapters, and he's also gonna send me some clamps that work with these mounts for these trucks. Last but not least, I'm gonna use the MBS Rockstars. I've got a spare set of these because I've got a set of Etox hubs that I put on my black mountain board. So these are sitting here ready to go. I'll definitely wax some fresh tires on them, and yeah, give them a good clean up, and they'll be looking smick. Let's make a start on this build and get these trucks on. All right, so what I just realized is on the truck, they have a little channel, and that's where your nut sits. So your nut locks in there. You don't have to hold a tool underneath, which is quite handy. But this is a normal size hardware nut, and it doesn't fit the slot. So you might have to go to your hardware and get the right size nuts for it, and they slot in. So once they're in there, you don't need to hold a tool underneath. You can just screw them in from the top. All right, so the trucks are on. Let's get those wheels cleaned up and fresh tires on them and whack them on. I am so keen to try these out. Obviously I don't have mounts yet. I don't have adapters for the chain and sprockets yet. So I might have to go and find a hill. Even get towed by a mate, just to get a feel for them. This thing just looks awesome. I'm so happy with it so far. It's gonna be a shame to drill holes in it for enclosures. You forget how light a gravity board is with no electronics on it. Just jumping around here in the shed. You can do a 180 without even trying. So light. So that's the idea of smaller motors, smaller batteries, you know, light chain and sprockets instead of gear drive. So they still work all right in the mud, but they're way lighter than the gears and just stuff like that. Try and keep it minimal and yeah, see how we go. With the 120 kV motors, I'll be giving it a go on 12S, 10S and 18S. All right, so the main reason I'm gonna run this on 12S as well and do some testing with 12S, even though they're only 120 kV motors, is because the Evolve Open is on. It's been advertised for July this year. It's on a BMX track up in Brisbane. So I really want to get up there. They've got a stock class and an open class. The only trouble is in the open class, they've put restrictions. So you've got max 12S, you can only go a 6374 motor or smaller, and there's no bindings. Even though it's an off-road event, they've knocked out all mountain boarders that run bindings like this. So the next option is they're gonna allow S2 bindings, the half hook bindings. So that is these type of bindings. Normally they bolt on to your truck bolts and you can slot your feet in here. You can slot in and slot out quite easy, still have a binding. So that's the only option they're allowing in the open class on an off-road event. Doesn't quite make sense to me, but it's the way it is. It's to keep it fair. They're the rules, got to play by them. The only problem is, on a deck like this, because of the angle of the deck, you can't just bolt these straight on or they're aiming down. They're designed to screw into a flat longboard deck and be up like this. And you can slot that foot in nice and tight. We're on a deck like this. It makes that a bit tricky. So I'm gonna have to bend this and see how I go and see if I can make it work just for the Evolve event. I might have to do it earlier to get some practice in and see how it feels. I think it's a bit of a shame with these rules that they're put on there for off-road boards. It's a BMX track, so a lot of DIYs are like this. They're quite low. They're gonna belly out over a lot of those jumps and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I really want to take this thing because I'm going to build it nice and light. We don't need a lot of range for the race because it's a downhill BMX track. I'm guessing it's only going to be 40 seconds to a minute lap, something like that. Yeah, so run some lipos. All right, so for the back here, I've got an ESC enclosure coming from NULLBLOX, I think you pronounce it. His name's Zachary. He does some awesome stuff. He does some sweet skate park videos on mountain boards and just heaps of cool stuff in general. I'm going to leave his link to his YouTube and Instagram in the description. Go and check it out. He does some awesome ride videos, jumping quarter pipes, hitting ramps, and also like grinding boxes and stuff like that on these electric mountain boards. And he's going to CNC me a really cool ESC enclosure. So I'm super pumped for that. I'm unsure what I'm going to do for a battery box. I've got a really good battery box and ESC enclosure coming from Nomad Designs, but I thought I want to keep them together. So I think I'm going to whack them on the original gear drive mountain board over the back there. They look really nice as well. But yeah, so that's what's happening. Let me know what you guys think about the Evolve Open and the motor voltage restrictions in the open class and the no bindings on the off-road course. Their idea is to keep it fair, and I find that's going to be really hard to do in the e-skate scene. I don't think an 18S board off-road on a downhill track is going to be much different to a 12 or a 10S board. I think it's going to come all down to the rider. Also, it's easy to make an 18S board, but set up and tune of the board, like it all comes into one. There's no line down the middle that's going to say that's a winning board, that's a losing board. It's just not how it works. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully I'm going to get some ride footage of this now, and we'll cruise down some hills and that, and hopefully all the parts are going to be here in a couple weeks. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much again for watching. Massive thanks to my members. I love you guys, and yeah, catch you on the next one. Cheers. Oh, they feel pretty nice. Dude, they feel pretty good. We'll work it out. Turn left here. Good. So good. These are sick. So good.
Just left it on fast mode. Yeah, tie him in. I'll tie you in.
Oh, hold up, I'm gonna let go. Yeah. That's right. I'm still at 99%.
Hasn't moved.
Sickest truck ever.